Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us and giving us an hour of your time to be with us today. Today, we're doing road trip with Libby. Now that summer is upon us, some of us might be taking road trips. For me, that means heading up to Northern California to visit family. For some of you, it might be heading down the coast or across country, or maybe we're just stuck in our daily commute. But Libby and LA County Library is here to help you stay entertained on the road. So just as a quick reminder, your microphone and video will be disabled for the duration of this event. However, that does not mean we do not want to hear your questions or your comments. If you have any questions, please place those in the Q&A, which is located on the lower portion of your screen if you're joining us on your laptop or desktop. If you're on a mobile device, that button might be closer to the top of your screen. Now, before we get started with today's program, I would like to take a moment of your time to read the LA County Land Acknowledgement. The County of Los Angeles recognizes that we occupy land originally and still inhabited and cared for by the Tangva, Tataviam, Serrano, Quiche, and Chumash peoples. We honor and pay respect to the elders and descendants, past, present, and emerging, as they continue their stewardship of these lands and waters. We acknowledge that settler colonization resulted in land seizure, disease, subjugation, slavery, relocation, broken promises, genocide, and multi-generational trauma. This acknowledgement demonstrates our responsibility and commitment to truth, healing, and reconciliation, and to elevating the stories, cultures, and community of the original inhabitants of Los Angeles County. We are grateful to have the opportunity to live and work on these ancestral lands. We are dedicated to growing and sustaining relationships with Native peoples and local tribal governments, including, in no particular order, the Fernandeño Tatavian Band of Mission Indians, the Gabrielino Tangva Indians of California Tribal Council, the Gabrielino Tangva San Gabriel Band of Mission Indians, the Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians Quiche Nation, the Yahamawata of San Manuel Nation, San Fernando Band of Mission Indians, Coastal Band of Chumash Nation, Gabrielino Tangva Nation, Gabrielino Tangva Tribe. Thank you so much. And with that, we will jump right into our program today, which is, of course, Road Trip with Libby. Today, you'll find out everything you need to know how to get started with Libby, as well as some tips and tricks for those road trips to make sure you get audiobooks and some ebooks that really fit your wants and your needs. We're going to have a short PowerPoint presentation, then we're going to jump into a live demonstration so you can see how Libby works in action. So here we go. So what do you need? Of course, you are at LA County Library, so you will need an LA County Library card. If you do not have an LA County Library card, you could go into any of your local LA County libraries, fill out an application, and get a full access card. You also have the option to get a digital card. This digital card is instant. You apply for it online. It is good for all of the majority of our online resources and some limited resources inside of the library. To get a digital card, you need to be over the age of 18 and be a resident of LA County. So once you have your library card, you will need your PIN. Now, if you do not know your PIN, again, you can call or visit your local LA County Library. You could also go onto our LA County Library catalog and reset your PIN. You will reset your PIN as long as we have your email address because we won't email you there. And of course, because we are dealing with an online resource, you will need a computer, a device with internet access. So how to access? So to get the best experience on Libby, I would recommend downloading the Libby app either to iOS, which is your Apple devices, Android, which is anything else that isn't an Apple device, your Samsungs, your Googles, or if you have an Amazon Kindle Fire that is 2020 or newer, you can download the Libby app. You can also browse the website. There's a web version of Libby at libbyapp.com, and that's how I will be accessing Libby for everyone to see. Once you're in, you would search for LA County Library, type in your library card number and PIN, and you can start browsing the collection. You'll see how easy that is momentarily. So how does it work? Well, much like a traditional library, you are able to check out items that you are expected to return. You can borrow items for 7, 14, or 21 days. I always suggest you borrow items for 21 days. You can always return them early. If you borrow them for 7 or 14 days and you do not finish, and there is a hold, the book will go away and you will not be able to renew it. So always get the longest period possible, and if need be, if you're done with it, please be kind and return it early so the next customer can enjoy the book as much as you did. You can borrow up to 15 items every month, 15 items at a time. This is not every month. This is just a rolling 15. So you can't have more than 15 items on your Libby at one time. You can also place up to 15 items on hold. Uh, and if you need to have more than 15 items on hold, we could start a list for you. You can start a list so you could start moving items into your hold list as you have space. You could read and listen to items directly on the Libby app. And for some titles, you can send ebooks to Kindle, but we will be focusing on the Libby app today. And remember, I said you can create those lists. In Libby, they're called tags or smart tags. And these are automatic returns. So after the loan period, they will automatically return themselves. So you will never get a late fee. But we are a fine-free library now, so you don't have to worry about that. But as I said, be kind, return that book early. If you waited a week, 2 weeks, or a month for that title, I could assure you there's someone else right behind you eagerly waiting to get their hands on it. So please return early. And of course, these are the ways to access Libby. Overdrive is the original company, it's the overall company, and you can access titles through there as well. That URL is on the website on the screen, and again, you can access Libby on a desktop through libbyapp.com, which is how we will be accessing it today for our presentation. And you can always get that digital card if you need one to ensure that you have access. And so now with that, I will jump over into our live demo. Right. So as I said, you go into libbyapp.com. If you're downloading Libby for the first time, you will see this exact same screen. There's two differences between the Libby website and the Libby app, and I will point them out as we go along. One might be a little bit more important than the other, but I'll let you decide. So once you're here, you're going to say that you do have a library card, and we're going to search for a library card for a library. And go ahead and type in LA County. And you see here LA County Library and 91 other branches. What's great about Libby is that this is a shared collection between all of our branches, so you don't need to specifically look for your branch. If you use the Malibu branch, or you use the Yakuboni branch in Lakewood, or the Avalon branch on Catalina Island, you do not need to look for that specific branch because we are all sharing the exact same collection that is owned by LA County Library. So here we are going to sign in with my card. And here you have two options. You have LA County Library and Books on Band card. The Books on Band card is a special card for teens ages 13 to 18 that want access to more books and might have trouble accessing books for a variety of reasons. This card is available to any teen within the state of California. And for more information, you can go to our website if someone you know might need access to library material. But we have a normal library card, so we're going to click here. And we're going to type in our library card number. Hit next. Put in our PIN. Okay, we're able to get in with this card here. So as you can see here, I have my library card number. I have here that I have one book checked out out of the possible 15. I have 10 items on hold out of a possible 15. We're going to hit next. And here, I always hit skip because you always have the chance to read with Kindle if that's your preference. So you could always hit skip because if a book is available for Kindle, you will be able to check it out for Kindle. and hit skip. And so here now we are at our main library. This is like walking into your local branch. You see all of our displays. Here you have these curated collections. Some of these collections, curated collections, are curated by the staff at Libby and Overdrive, and some of them are created by our staff here at LA County Library. So this is just a really, if you just kind of want to see what you can find, this is a great way of doing it. This is Canopy, one of our other offerings. It is free movies. Be sure to check that out. I use it a lot. So we see here a variety of different lists. And here we have our Lucky Day collection. The Lucky Day collection is a collection of books that have really long holds list, and we set aside a few copies that are 7 days only. You cannot modify this to 14 or 21 days. You cannot renew. So if you can finish a book in 7 days, this collection is for you. If you're like me who cannot finish a book in 7 days because I have 2 or 3 books going at the exact same time, I generally skip this collection. But it's here for you, and you'll be able to tell when something is lucky day by a little four-leaf clover, and I'm sure you'll see that as we search. So you could continue searching this kind of infinite scrolls. There's a lot of things here. I do want to show one more thing here. So we do have magazines and Libby. I will not be covering magazines today. I will be hosting another event on Wednesday covering magazines and newspapers. That will be on Wednesday at 4 p.m. If you can't make it, go ahead and register for it as well if you're interested, and you will get a recording of it once that recording is ready, just like you'll get a recording of this. So let's say we are focusing on road trips and some audiobooks. We're going to look at audiobooks first and then skip over and then jump over to some ebooks, and then we'll look at some other items as well. So here we're going to go into the spyglass here, and this is our search. And here we could type in what we want, but we're going to go straight into audiobooks here. We could see here we have 43,000 audiobooks in our collection. And say you want just something that you could check out because you need something to listen to. You click on Available Now. And here, these are all books that you could check out right now. No holds. You could get going. There's about 1,100 available at the moment, so I'm sure you'll find something that could catch your eye. Now, say you've heard a lot about a book. You want to check it out. Just not too sure about it. And you don't want to necessarily check something out if you're not sure you're going to like it. You could click into here and you get a really good summation of the book. You also get some additional information. Here, if there are any reviews, they'll be noted here. If the star is dark or black, that means this book review site absolutely loved it, so it is recommended. You can click and read the reviews, but the majority of these reviews are professional reviews, and so they do contain a lot of spoilers. Because secret, we don't read all the books we buy. Sometimes we depend on these reviews. And these are really great reviews, and so we're able to really choose books that are going to be fit our collection and fit the needs of our community. And you got some additional information. One of my favorite things here is narrator. If you absolutely fall in love with the narrator, you could go here and see everything else they've narrated. Sometimes I read a book based on the narrator. So if that's something that interests you, if you absolutely love the narrator, or if you don't enjoy that narrator, you could also then avoid that narrator. Trust me, I do that as well. So here we see here read with Libby Audio. All of our audiobooks could only be listened within the Libby app. You cannot export them to an MP3 player. You cannot export them to your iTunes or Spotify or any other service. You need to listen to it within the Libby app. And this is not a bad thing because the Libby app offers a really great experience. Now here I'm going to point out one of the two differences between the website and the app on your mobile device. On the website, as I am here, you have to have a constant connection to the internet because you cannot download the audiobook. It is only a stream. You're only streaming, you cannot download. On your app, you are able to download the book. So if you lose, a connection, if you're on that road trip and you hit some really spotty, cell service, not to worry. As long as you have that book downloaded to your device, you'll be able to continue to listen to it uninterrupted. Now, some of these files can get rather large. They can get into the gig when you're looking at these 18-hour long books. So just be mindful of the space that it will take on your device, but you are able to delete it once you're done with it. It is not broken up into chapters, so it's just one single massive download. So be mindful of that as well. So as I was saying, we're reading through this book, but we're not exactly sure we like the book, or maybe we're not gonna like the narrator. I forgot to do one thing. Let me reshare my screen here really second. Okay, so we're gonna pop back into here. Uh, you can play a sample. So this gives you about 5 minutes of the book, and that's great. Uh, because you get to get a maybe a feel of the book and also a feel of the narrator to see if that's something you could sit with. So hopefully you can all hear that.
Macmillan Audio presents The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, read by Julia Whalen.
So there you get a quick sample of what the pace of the book, the narrator. If you go a little bit deeper, you might get a feel for what the book is about. So again, you get, am I going to sit in traffic with for 18 hours with this person or not? Is this something I want to read or not? And if it is, you could then borrow it and you can begin your journey. And as you can see here, your journey does begin. Libby does a really great job of uh, keeping note of how long you kept a book, how long took you to read it. So let's go ahead. I do enjoy this. Let's go ahead and borrow this title. So remember I said always borrow for 21 days. Now, here you see borrow for 21 days. So mine is defaulted to 21 days, but yours may not be. Yours might be 7 or 14 days, and you can change this. If you click on the 21 days, so I'll change it here to 14. Now it says 14. I'll click again. I'll hit 21 days. And you know it's 21 days because you have that little star there. And again, once you are done with this title, you can always return it early as a whole list might begin. So we're going to go ahead and borrow our book here. We're going to go ahead and open our audiobook. One thing to note that these books are due 21 days to the moment you checked out. So in 21 days, I do not have until midnight for this book to return itself. I have until 4:50 p.m. 21 days from now. So at 4:51 in 21 days, this book will disappear, and you'll see that in action in just a little bit. So some things I want to point out here. You can always go back 15, forward 15. You can play. Here you have these dark marks are your different chapters. And you could see how long you have left in the chapter. Another thing I want to point out here is on our upper right-hand corner. This little odometer here will help you adjust the speed of the book. If the narrator is reading too slow for you, you can speed it up. If the narrator is reading too fast for you, you can slow it down. You could slow it down and speed it up in increments of 0.05. So you could really adjust to Libby to really fit your needs. I usually read at 125, listen at 125. That's a good speed for me. But there's been time where the authors just normally talk too fast, so I do need to go back to 1.0. So if we jump up a little here,
The old gods may be great,
we could
but they are
see.
neither kind nor merciful. They are fickle, unsteady as moonlight on water or shadows in a storm.
So there at 125, this book is still good for me, and it does save you some time because you're listening to a little bit faster. Other things I want to highlight here, this half crescent moon here, this is the timer. This is really fantastic. If you listen to as you're going to sleep and you just, although you wouldn't be sleeping if you're driving, but you're at home and you want to just listen to the end of the chapter. And so that way, tomorrow when you wake up, you know exactly how far you have to go back, or you just want to listen to 15, 30, or 60 minutes, and then it automatically turns off. And again, you can adjust by 5 minute increments. I use this a lot when I am driving and I don't want to take my hand, my eyes off the road. I just listen to the end of the chapter. Before I leave, I preset for how long I want to listen to, and that way I do not need to worry about taking my eyes off the road. The other thing I want to highlight here is this here, this little ribbon. You're allowed to do bookmarks on this, so I would suggest to do this when you're not driving. But say there's something you really enjoyed in the book and you want to ensure that you go back to it. So
Sheer force of will.
I want to remember that exact moment. I click on it and it gives me a tag that you see here. You could click here and you see the bookmark there. The other thing you can do is you can actually highlight a section of audio. So I'm going to play it again. And as I'm playing it, I'm going to hold down this button and you'll see it turn a different color. And you'll see the highlight start running down here.
In love with a girl named Jess. He simply hadn't met her yet. So now, she is Jess. Toby begins to stir, and she feels the old familiar ache in her chest as he stretches, rolls toward her.
As you can see there, that part is highlighted. And I could change the color and I could put need to share this with whoever, right? Because this is such a good part. I need to share that with someone. And so that way you're able to really keep track of stuff um, within the audiobook that you're listening to. And if you check out this book again, all of this will still be there. It will not go away. So it's a really great way of keeping track for like book clubs. If you're in a book club and you need to like highlight something that you want to share, a section that you want to talk about, this is a really great way of doing that. So as you can see here, I also see where my tags are at here. So it's really a really great way of doing it. So now let's say we are heading to that road trip and we want our audiobook. Don't necessarily want something that is, so I'm going to remove this filter. Let's go back to our main search. So these are all our books here. Now, I know I'm going to go on a road trip. I'm going to be on the road for about a total of 6 hours. So I want a book that's roughly about 5 hours long, so that I have a little buffer so I could be done with it when I get to my destination. I also don't want to get stuck in a long series. I just want a single book. I'm in, I'm out within about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours. How can I do that? I'll show you once again what I did. I clicked here. These are our filters, and this is where you can tell Libby exactly what you want. So I know I want an audiobook. Keep scrolling down. We see here first in series or standalone. I do not want to get stuck in a series. I want a standalone book. I listen to it and I'm done. But I also want a book that's somewhere between 4 hours and 6 hours. So now my 47,000 books are narrowed down to 2,000 books. Click here on Show Title, and we have here the number of books that are available that fit my criteria, standalone books that are between 4 and 6 hours. And as you can all see here, that's all you get. So these are some really great filters to really help you narrow down what you want to read. So, do we have any questions, Rebecca?
Yes, there's a couple. Somebody was asking if you have a book borrowed and after the 21 days, is it automatically returned and does it free up the space afterwards? Or
Yeah, so after 21 days, whatever your checkout period, it does automatically return itself and it does remove the copy from your app. So it is completely removed, so it frees up that space again. So you don't have to worry about Libby just having a bunch of files that you can't access because they do expire. Once you return it or it's due, it will remove itself from your device.
okay, thank you. And then there's one more. If you play an audiobook, does it leave off wherever you stopped, or like how does that work if you
Yeah.
pause
Yeah.
it?
So wherever you pause it, wherever you stop, that's where you'll pick it up again. It doesn't reset itself. You don't need to set a bookmark to remember where you're at. It will automatically pick up from where you left off. So now I do want to cover ebooks really quickly because you might have other people in the car with you, or just, you want to read something once you get to your destination. So we'll do ebooks here. So again, very similar to the way audiobooks are. Now, one thing to note is that how you can tell the difference between audiobooks and ebooks. An audiobook, it's a little more squared, and you have the hours, so you know how long you're going to be listening to. An ebook looks more like a book jacket, and there is no time. So you know you're looking at an ebook. So very similar. This has been a very popular book here. And you can see here again all the different um, reviews on it. Again, you have all these reviews. So here we got Booklist, Kirkus, and Library Journal giving it star reviews. Those dark stars, once again, means that these are well reviewed. You're welcome to read these again, but you will get all the spoilers. So if you just want to know if they like it or not, this is how you know. And here you can see that you can read with Libby, so within the app. EPUB, so if you have something else like a Nook, you can send it to that and Kindle. So you can send this book to Kindle. So again, very similar to the audiobook. You can read a sample. You'll get about 30 to 40 pages of what that looks like. This is a very popular title, so you will need to get on the holds list for this. And sometimes the holds list might seem very long, both for our ebooks and our audiobooks, but get on the list, and I'll tell you why. The more people that get on the list, our book buyers see this list grow, so they buy additional copies, which will bring down your hold time. Right. So if you just wait for the holds to go down, that might actually take you longer to get a hold of a book that you want, because we don't know the demand. The more the demand we know, the more copies we buy, and the more that they become available for you. So please be sure to get yourself on those hold lists to let us know that you need more, that we need more copies of this book. So don't be afraid of those long lists. They will then come down. But let's find a book that's available just so you could kind of see what the experience in Libby looks like. So here we go. So you see here that little four-leaf clover. That's that Lucky Day collection, that Skip the Light collection that is only for 7 days. So if you click here, you can see here, this is a Skip the Line collection. It has a fixed end ending period, so you cannot adjust it. If you wait a little bit, it'll probably become a hold. But if you click on this is a skip the line, you could click here and then you could get on the hold if you really want to get on the holds list for this as well. So let's go ahead and borrow here Wuthering Heights. We're actually going to go into it again. You can see I've borrowed this before because here's my reading journey. Get all the really cool stuff here that lets you know. So we're going to go ahead and borrow. And again, 21 days, 21 days, you can always return early. So we're going to go ahead and click borrow. And we're going to open book. This book automatically says open book because it is not available for Kindle. If it is available for Kindle, it would say read with, and then you would choose. And if you choose Kindle, it will take you to the Amazon site and you would need to sign into your Amazon account. So here we see really quickly some options. It's kind of getting the page count, and this page count is going to shift depending on how you read. Um, so as again, you see here are chapter breaks. So you're able to see all the different chapter breaks. You click here, we'll jump to the next page. And on your phone, you would just swipe and swipe and swipe until you get to to the start of the book. So here, one of the things I want to highlight is the way in which you can change the text to be more comfortable for you. So again, if you click in the middle or you tap in the middle of your screen if you're on a device, you see this A here. You're able to increase the size of the text, and you could go even bigger if need be. You can see there it is relatively big. So it's really, really customizable. You can also change how it looks. Go to dark. I love dark. It's much easier in my eyes, but that's your choice as well. And you're also able to change the font. So if there's a font that works for you a little bit better, it's easier for you to see and to read. There are different fonts for you to customize the look and the feel of Libby, so you could have a really great reading experience, right? So it's a fantastic reading experience. I read the vast majority of my books within the Libby app. Similar way as with our audiobook, you can do some bookmarks right here. You click on that, and that gives you that bookmark right there. You could add another one. We move forward. We could add another bookmark. And then if you click this icon here, you're able to then to see your two different bookmarks, and it'll take you right to it. This spyglass here is pretty great because you could search within the text. So if you're looking for a specific character or you remember a specific line but you forgot to bookmark it, you could look it up. You can also highlight a book. You can highlight a specific book here. You can also do the definition of the book, of the word, and it does connect to the internet. So you do need to have the internet available to do this. And very similar with audiobooks. With the audiobooks, if you're on your app, you can download it, so you don't need to be connected to the internet. If you're on a desktop, you do need to have that constant connection. You cannot download these titles onto your desktop or laptop. These are much smaller files. You could have hundreds of them on your phone without any problem. So that's a quick look at how to customize your different books. You're able to see here my new journey is updated. So now another couple of quick things that I do want to point out here. We're going to go into our shelf. So here in our shelf, we're able to see our loans, recent loans. And then if you click on hold, you see here all the different books that are on hold. So I am on, I think, 10 of my 15. So as you can see here, there's a little pause button. These are because I've suspended my holds. What that means is that this book became available to me, but when it became available to me, I was not ready to read it or listen to it. So I suspended it. What that does is that my line, so I was first in line because it became available. So I stay first in line. So whenever I'm ready to listen to this book, I simply click unsuspend. And as soon as someone returns the book, it comes to me. and I'm able to check it out. So this is a really great way to build out your hold list and not necessarily worry about, I'm not going to be ready for it. You just click suspend hold and you have 365 days to unsuspend it. As you can see here, it's been suspended. I've suspended this book for a very long time. It's been suspended for 89 days. So I've had this book suspended for almost 3 months. But as soon as I'm ready to listen to it, I click unsuspend. And again, as soon as that book becomes available as soon as someone returns it, it becomes available to me. Once a book becomes available to me, I have 72 hours to check it out. If I do not check it out within the 72 hours, a couple of things happen. If I've never suspended the hold, it'll go into suspend. And I have that 365 days. If I do not, if I had suspended it and I suspend it again, it'll just continue that 300, so it would be 91 days for this book, because it continues that 1 year. After that 1 year, if I do nothing, the book does disappear from my holds list, and I will need to put it on the holds list again if I want to check it out. So the other thing is you do need to remember to come into unsuspend. It won't remind you that you have this book on a suspend. You need to come in and remember I need to unsuspend this hold so I could listen to it or read it. So it's always advisable to come into your hold shelf and see what's there and see what you want to check out. Now, as I was saying, a lot of times you're done with the book early, and I suggest that you return it before, ahead of time. To do that on your loans, you go into manage loan and you see here return early. Remember I said that you have like a specific time to return the book returns itself at a specific time. This book will return itself on July 13th at 5:01 p.m. I do not have until 11:59 p.m. to the end of the day. You have until the moment you checked out. So be mindful of that when a book is due, it's going to return itself when you checked it out, not at the end of that day. But I'm going to go ahead and return early. It's going to verify that I want to return it early. Just like that, it is gone. You get your flowers for being a nice person and returning a book early and making it available to the next customer. So another thing I want to highlight here is getting on a holds list for those books that are not yet available. You want to be the first person on the holds list for the latest Stephen King, for the latest Sean Grisham. So how do you do that? Well, first, of course, we got to search the title. And I do suggest that you know the title of the book. That helps out a lot with this feature. So we're going to search for a title. So I am a big Helen Hildebrand fan, and I know she has a new title coming out this fall, so I'm going to search for it. I believe it's called Thoroughbreds. And so I see here a number of books called Thoroughbreds, but I don't see the title by the author I am looking for. So one feature that I want to highlight here is called a deep search. So you go into your filters here, and here you see deep search. So this includes titles that your library doesn't have. So this will automatically look for all the titles that LA County Library currently does not own but is available for purchase. So this feature does work for both titles that have yet not been released, but it also works for titles that are currently out but we do not own. This does limit the search for your initial search has to be under 100 titles. So if your search was over 100 titles, this deep search option would not work. So someone like Stephen King, who's really prolific, if you look up Stephen King, deep search would be deactivated because we own so many of the titles that initial search would be over 100. So that's why I say knowing the title helps because it would really limit the search. So luckily for here, we had under 100 titles. Our initial search here, as you can see, is 20 titles. Once I hit deep search, Our titles jump to 322. So hopefully the book I'm looking for is at the top of that list. So let's go ahead and hit show titles. It's thinking. And so we scroll here and see if we could find, and here it is. I can see that it's going to come out September 14th of 2026. And we see here this little bell. We don't see the library card like we were seeing, and it says notify me. So what this does is that by adding a notify me tag, it it guarantees that a library doesn't guarantee that we're going to buy the book, but it does start to gauge interest in this title. So something like this, we're most likely going to purchase. Something by Stephen King, we're definitely going to purchase. But what it does two things. It gives you a notification letting you know that the book is now available for you to get on the holds list. It does not automatically place you on the holds list, but it does allow you to get on the holds list. So once you get that notification, get on the holds list so you could be one of the first ones. It also lets us know that people are interested in this title. So for smaller authors, if our collection development team who buys our books, if they start getting a lot of these notify me, all they get is how many people requested this title on a weekly basis. So something that we might not be aware of, if a lot of people start hitting that notify me tag, it lets us know this is a new author, this is a new title that people are interested in. So it lets us know that we do need to buy this title. So I do suggest you use this feature whenever possible. So we're going to go ahead and click notify me. And so now you can see that little bell is turned on. So once I get that notify me notice, I'm going to jump back into Libby and put myself on the holds list. That initial holds list is going to look really, really big because we buy one title to create a holds list. And again, that helps us gauge interest. If, 100 people hit the notify me, but only two people actually get themselves on the holds list, we might not need as many titles as we thought. But if all 100 people who hit notify me get on that hold list, we know we need multiple titles, multiple copies of this book. So like I said, get yourself on those holds lists, get that notify me. It helps us better understand the needs of our community and what books we need to purchase. So definitely use this for all of those upcoming titles that you're interested in. I'm going to get myself on the holds list at the notify me for the audiobook as well. Her audiobook narrator is one of my favorites. I'll listen to anything she narrates. So I definitely want to get myself on the holds list for the audiobook as well. So be sure to use Notify Me to help you get on those lists as soon as possible. And hopefully this book will be available for me for one of my road trips. So let's move on. And you're also able to create your very own tags. So let me look at so this was one of my favorite books, the Buffalo Hunter. So I can create a tag for it and name it like books I love. So I'm just going to put a heart in there. And so every time I find a book, hit create, that I love, I could tag it with that heart. That way I could have a long running list of the books that I've absolutely loved. So we do have a little bit of time here left over. If we have any questions or comments that I can address for everybody.
Hello, yeah, a couple of people were asking if you're able to add additional library cards and what the benefits might be for
Of
that, or
course.
if you're able to demonstrate. Mhm.
Yeah, of course. So for that, you would go here into your main menu. Now you can add cards one of two ways. So if we're in LA County Library, you can add card here, and you'll add a secondary card. So we're going to go into Manage Cards, and we're going to add a card here. Now, adding a card has a couple of benefits. Um, One, say you have young children and you want to kind of check out books for them. You can check out books for them, and then send it to their device. If they're logging into their device with their library card, they'll be able to access their books. You could, once it's checked out on one device, it shows up on all the other devices that are logged in with that card. So it's really great for that. It's also great if you have people who just aren't good with technology and they just want books on their device, don't want to have to deal with checking out books. You can do that as well. The other thing you can do is add multiple libraries. So we live in LA County. There is a lot of library districts within our county. Of course, there's LA County Library. There's LAPL, which is a city library. There's Long Beach and Santa Monica, and a lot of these other libraries do also have Libby. So if you're able to get a library card from those library districts, you can add them on here. So say you have a card from Los Angeles Public. You would click on here, you would go through the same steps we went to adding our card. And then you have the combination of both of these libraries. You're able to get on both holds lists. You're able to increase the number of books you could check out. You could increase the number of books you could have on hold because you could have the 15 for us plus whatever LAPL or the other district offers you. So there is a great benefit. So if you are able to get multiple cards, I highly suggest you get cards for all the districts, for all the library systems that you're able to get library cards and add them to Libby. Get on the different holds list, check out more books. Our collections also vary. Books that are available at our system aren't necessarily available at LAPL and vice versa. So you are expanding the amount, the number of different titles that are available to you. So I highly encourage that you do that.
All right. Thank you, Jose. And then there was one more question about notifications. Is there a way to be notified once books are available after they've been placed on hold, or how will customers know when they're
Yeah,
ready? Mhm.
great question. So if you go here into your menu here again, and you scroll down, you see here notifications. Thank you for bringing this up, Rebecca. So this is the other place where the website differs from the app. On the website, you'll get notice either you ignore the notifications. You can see the different notifications here, holds, loans expiring. So you have three options. You could ignore it. You don't want to ever get this notification. You get a shelf notification, but that's just a little dot right here. So unless you're on your app or on the website constantly, you might miss it. Here you see email. So you could switch over to email and you will get an email notification sent that your hold is ready, your hold is lapsing, whatever you choose. On your phone, instead of email, you could get a push notification. And those are just like all the other notifications you get from your social media or your text messages. It's that little pop-up that comes up on the top of your screen letting you know that your hold is ready, your hold is lapsing, or your hold is lapsed. And again, remember, once you get that hold is ready notification on your phone, if you're doing through the app, you have 72 hours. If you don't do anything within those 72 hours, it will go into that suspend, and then you would have to go into your hold, unsuspend it, and then the next one will become available. And depending on how many copies we have of that book, your hold could be a couple of minutes to 3 weeks. Because if we only have one copy of that book, you have to wait for that person to return it. So please, please be ready to check out the book, or know that you might have to wait a little bit longer if it goes into the suspend. So once again, thank you all so much for giving us just under an hour of your time. I hope you found this useful and informational, and safe travels if you are traveling this summer. If not, enjoy the reading either way. Thank you so much, everybody, and we will catch you next time.